Well, good evening, America, and this is It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay TV show, and it's 8 p.m., and it is Wednesday, May 6th. I was sitting here calculating which day because I have forgotten, and we're excited that you've joined us. We're going to break right into Happening Now, our breaking news. We want to report the big story that's happening today of the Health and Human Services whistleblower. We've prepared a package on it. Watch this.
Time after time, I was pressured to ignore or dismiss expert and scientific recommendations. I was pressured to let politics and cronyism drive decisions over the opinions of the best scientists we have in government. And ultimately, I was removed from my position.
That was Dr. Rick Bright on a call with reporters today after he filed a whistleblower complaint saying he was demoted from his job as a top-level vaccine expert in the U.S. government. He says he was demoted specifically for resisting, on scientific grounds, the administration's campaign to use an unproven drug as a treatment for coronavirus.
Well, on our partner show, our evening news show, Q News Tonight, we have reported tonight that this likely could be one of the most important stories in the coronavirus pandemic because Dr. Rick Bright has filed this whistleblower complaint, a 78-page complaint, indicating that in the first days of January, HHS was completely briefed in terms of what was happening in China and the ramifications of coronavirus in the United States. And he specifically raised alarms in terms of the effects that it could have on the United States. He is going to testify in front of Congress next week and likely contradict most everything that we have heard at the White House Coronavirus Commission briefings that have taken place that the United States was caught completely by surprise. In addition to that, he is going to report on issues of corruption and cronyism in terms of the push of alternative medical advances that turned out not to be true. Very big news. What do y'all think about what we're learning today on Dr. Bright? Any thoughts?
I am very hopeful that this is a good sign of where our country is going. At the same time, I know what this means. Whistleblowers come out, and then Donald Trump tries to drive them back into the, whatever fecal hole they came out of. I don't have that much faith in our community, and when I say our community, I mean not LGBTQ, but as America. I'd really like to think that this is that moment where everything changes, but I haven't experienced that. I'm a millennial. I really want to believe in our system. I just haven't experienced that at all in my lifetime. And every single time that this comes up, something like this comes up, it seems like it's going to be the thing that gets Donald Trump, and it never has it gotten him.
Well, the one observation I would make to that, it's not going to get Donald Trump. It's going to frame what we make a decision in the voting booth on November 3rd. That's what's going to come from this issue. Other thoughts that y'all have? Josie?
Josie, yeah.
Yeah. So what listen, I understand, Napoleon, where you're coming from in the moment. And I clearly am with you in this disheartening information, the sample of we're living in a twilight zone in the moment. Okay. We understand that, right? But you cannot lose faith in the system, in our humanity, in, the right, being the one who prevails at the end of the day. We have to keep on doing our due diligence. Right now, this doctor is showing so much courage. This is exactly, I hope that he is an example for other people who are working within the system at the moment, who are witness to incidents like this, and who can come out and also share the same courage that he's showing in this moment. Yeah, these are tough decisions. People need to make tough decisions. We cannot continue to allow your sentiment to continue to gain evidence. We cannot continue to allow the Americans lose faith in our system. We cannot lose faith in our system. We have to trust that now is the moment that's going to call the courage to everyone who's in play right now and who can make a difference. It's time to be courageous.
To Josie's observation in terms of calling into question confidence. One of the big issues that are in the whistleblower complaint and what he's going to testify in front of Congress is the shortages that he rang the bell on. He has specifically said that we are going to be in shortage of needles and syringes, and he also indicated that in January the alarms were sounded in terms of the personal protection equipment that was necessary and other related things that were necessary to manage a pandemic, and it basically went ignored. And he has used the word ignored repeatedly. Any other thoughts that y'all have on this breaking news?
I think that the key word here is accountability. And if you're not afraid to speak up and hold somebody accountable, I have to applaud you. And it has to be.
Tiffany? We can't let our viewers think that we're silencing the person of color.
I honestly feel bad for this man because for speaking his truth, he's going to receive backlash at the end of the day, just like anybody else who's spoken their truth, in this within this administration. It is very sad. This is not new knowledge that Trump has stock in that drug that he's been trying to push on everybody. So I'm not surprised that, yeah, they were telling them, push this drug, push this drug, push this drug. Of course they were. They're trying to make a profit. And that's what they're trying to do left, right, up, and down in this situation. You know, I hear there's monopolies going on the vaccine as we speak from other countries. They're trying to hinder them from coming up with the vaccine so that they can have the exclusive rights and profit from it. So I'm not surprised by this by any means.
Well, we're going to follow this story closely. Of course, you want to make sure that you tune into Q News tonight, every night at 7 p.m. We'll follow it closely. As I indicated, likely going to be one of the big stories related to pandemic because he is going to prove that much of what we have heard is not true so far. We say good evening again, America. Another interesting broadcast of It's Happening Out. We are broadcasting in pandemic. We are socially isolating here at the set, and as you can see, we are going to talk about Chef Josie and her news this evening. So we wish you good evening again. You are watching the world's most popular live gay TV show. So many of your stories are going to happen next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
Drag queens, Shangela, off the drag queen, and Eureka. We came and we brought drag. Ooh, I feel like Mary Poppins.
With her own allegations about an encounter she says happened between them in 2014 that made her feel quite uncomfortable.
The staff was cheering. And so it was actually the idea for a hope huddle.
Our new game, Saved by the Bell.
These two guys have come into these areas.
It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, MISTY EYEZ. With your host, lifestyle expert Napoleon Plays. Reality TV star, Chef Josie. Trans activist, Aaron Phoenix. DJ Diva, Power Infinity. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
All right. Oh, good evening, America. We are live, and that's kind of scary in coronavirus pandemic because anything can happen, and likely tonight it will. You're watching the world's most popular live gay TV show. We have so many interesting things that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes, and please, we ask you to like and share all of what we do and start a watch party. We've got a video very easy to prepare. Have your friends do this. Watch it.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click Start Watch Party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Well, we also, after you do your watch party, we'd like to thank the Best Western I-95 here in South Florida, Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale. They host our anchors and host for the Happening Out television network. And when the pandemic ends and social isolation is reduced and you can travel, you want to come to South Florida, of course you are, and the Best Western is where you want to stay.
We are broadcasting from our permanent set in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center in the heart of Wilton Drive, Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, the gayest place on planet Earth.
You say gayest so well. We also would like to thank our set that is designed courtesy of Concepto Modern Living. We thank them for what they've done in constructing our set here in the World AIDS Museum.
It's Happening Out is part of the Happening Out television network. We are the world's most popular digital LGBTQ news and entertainment channel.
While other LGBTQ media has stopped publishing, limited their internet and web traffic, or ceased their video entertainment and news, during the pandemic, we've actually doubled down on our commitment to our LGBTQ community.
Our website, It's Happening Out, is now Florida's largest daily traffic rank of any LGBT media, pride organization, gay business, or gay organization by a factor of more than 100 times greater. In fact, as of today, May 6th, our website has grown in Alexa daily web traffic visits to a rank of 11,834. Website in all of America. Now that doesn't sound very impressive, but remember there are 900 million websites. We are committed to you and we thank you for your support.
We are the most popular live gay TV show in the world every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and we're called It's Happening Out. More than 500,000 watch each week in Facebook television. It's a talk show very much like The View, but with a whole lot of gay people.
Gay. We are also happening. We're also happening. That little tiny voice coming out of that. Wow. We are Happening.Fun, South Florida's most popular live entertainment show for concerts, festivals, parties, and things to fun, with more than 20,000 Facebook viewers a week.
And our LGBTQ television network supports the live broadcast of Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday Church Services, the world's most popular LGBTQ queer religious broadcast.
We are your #1 source of news and entertainment during this crisis, and we continue to grow. Thank you for your support.
Well, we jump right into the show, and before I introduce the meme of the week, I want to welcome everybody. Of course, you saw Napoleon Plays.
Hey, everyone.
And MISTY EYEZ is a guest tonight, and she is sitting in for Aaron Dar at Q News Tonight, doing a fantastic job. We have the legendary bitch from South Beach, Tiffany Fantasia.
Bitch, I don't like that bitch.
And y'all don't recognize Tiffany because the last time she was here as a guest at It's Happening Out, she had a mask on and was in a hazmat suit. So you didn't know who it was.
Well, that's just
tonight we get to see you.
Yeah, they finally took a bath around here, so I was able to take the hazmat suit off.
Your hair's a little different tonight. Your coif.
Well, you know, you pay good money, you change it up every time you want to.
Are you surviving in isolation and social?
Let's just say the thighs are getting thick.
Are they?
Mama's gaining weight and not in a good way.
And we're going to return. We'll return to that, I assure you, tonight. And of course, you see here digitally at home is Chef Josie. There was a chance that Chef Josie was going to be here on the set tonight. We did a special last night at Q News Tonight because Chef Josie made some national news. On March 27th, everybody, of course, knows the tragic consequences to Ron Bernensky. Our anchor host here at It's Happening Out has passed of COVID-19, and everyone connected with the production was tested. Josie drew the straw and was the only one on March 27th to be confirmed positive of coronavirus. And
sorry? The chosen one.
The chosen one, okay. a religious reference to boot, and was scheduled to be here tonight, but has just gone through rescheduling of another test, and after 40 days kind of makes a national earthquake because she has tested positive again after 40 days. And we had quite an exploration last night. And Josie, let's take a minute to talk about that moment last night in Q News Tonight, and kind of catch us up briefly about your situation.
Yes, Friday I was retested in preparation of getting back into opening my restaurant, coming back to the show, and announcing my run for office.
I'm sorry, you're what?
We'll get back to that later.
Okay,
So,
all right.
but this was my due diligence. I wanted to ensure that I was being safe, that I would be back in the community, and that everyone around me would also be safe. So, I went and I was retested for COVID. I received my results, and to my distress, I am positive again after 40 plus days with the virus. Obviously, you see me now. I look like myself again, and I feel like myself again. But the reality is, I'm still carrying the virus. And last night, we were able to speak with Dr. Grossman, and he really shed some light on this phenomena, this moment, and
it's being completely underreported in the United States. There's been some reporting in Asia, but virtually nothing here in the United States of the situation that could occur that you are representing.
Correct. So I think this is a conversation we all need to we need to continue having. I'm glad we're having it here at It's Happening Out and on Q News Tonight. I'm glad that we're being courageous, and we're again, informing our community. The only way that we can combat this invisible, attacker, this invisible enemy, as everyone is calling it, is to be as informed as possible. So as we're collecting data, we need to share that data.
Yeah, it's true. And you did a great job yesterday, not just with yourself, but with our infectious disease expert, Dr. Howard Grossman, who's here every Thursday for Q News Tonight. But he was on with our show yesterday. And between the two of you, I think you guys gave an in-depth look at just how much we're not being told about COVID. And I thank you, Josie, and I thank Howard, who's not here tonight, for that, because it really shone a light on exactly how much we're not getting from information from the CDC, from the World Health Organization, or whomever else.
Speaking of that light, let's do a couple of the quick sound bites of what we learned from that in terms of having it for 40 days. Very likely it is leftover matter, viral matter from COVID-19 that's in your nasal passage, but probably not infectious, even though Broward Health has said that you should continue to quarantine. But Dr. Grossman said very likely you're not contagious, but you're still in quarantine. Broward Health recommended quarantine for at least another 7 days versus 14 days, which surprised us. The medical recommendation did not require any return to testing. They required no source tracing, contact tracing at all. And they even indicated that if you came back and got a second test prompted by you, that you may have to pay for the test if you come back. All of these are facts from your testing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And she wasn't reinfected. She was quarantined for 40 days.
Yes, that's right.
She came in contact with nobody new.
Yes, that's right. This is a continual infection for 40 days, which makes this so unique. And one other final note before we move on from your story of COVID is Josie's wife, Marcy. On March 27th, when Josie tested positive, Marcy tested negative, and Josie's mother lives with her like every good lesbian couple does.
And is in the high vulnerable stage, is what we
yes,
yesterday.
And right, exactly. She also tested negative. When Marcy and Josie's mother tested along with Josie, Josie got the news first of the continued second positive test, but Marcy and your mother have also again tested negative. And in close proximity, even to the best of isolation you could do, it caught us all by surprise that they are still negative with your positive continuing, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, this is miraculous to say the very least. I'm very blessed that these two have been able, my mother and my wife have been able to maintain a negative result and have not shown any symptoms or signs of being infected through this whole entire 40-day quarantine. Uh, I'm so grateful for that. And my mother is in a high risk group. She has a compromised immune system. Uh, and we live in a house that, in my best effort, she doesn't have her own wing in the house. She has a room in the house, and again, this is what is mystifying the entire situation, because what we're seeing on in the media coming from the CDC, the information that is being shared with us, it does not set up this scenario. So when we're experiencing this, you're confused, and it also puts doubt in your head of the things that you're hearing from the CDC and also the things that you're hearing in the media.
Very. So go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
And that right there, I think it is keeping us as a public, as the American public, in a place of stupid, is what I'm saying. Is we're in a space of stupid, and so we're walking around and making guesstimates of what are the proper and the best practices instead of listening to the experts, like Dr. Howard Grossman.
Yeah, and I want to put an exclamation point on that before we move out of Josie's COVID situation. The sound bites that came from the medical opinion last night in Q News Tonight was, first, he evaluated his opinion. Dr. Grossman is a former executive director of HIV National Health in the United States, very renowned in infectious disease, and he indicated in grading the Coronavirus Commission, and specifically President Trump, he rated an evaluation of F- in the response from the Coronavirus Commission. He was very critical of Broward County Health, which is the county health system here in Fort Lauderdale, but extrapolated that to other county health systems around the country. He was very critical of the source tracing contact, of not being followed up, and especially critical about the misinformation that is coming from county, state, federal, CDC, and the World Health Organization. We haven't had a good first 4-month start, was basically his opinion on COVID. And Josie's situation was proof of that. She's an illustrative anecdote of the problem we are all in. So, LGBT America, we recommend be your own advocate and learn exactly as Josie has done as much as you possibly can. And we're here for you at It's Happening Out and at Q News. And tomorrow night, every Thursday night, we do Q's Q&A for the LGBT community on coronavirus. We encourage you to.
And we have LGBTQ stats of where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. Well. So, Josie, welcome back. And hopefully next week. And we'll discuss this thing about some political office that I keep reading on bathroom walls in places.
Class president.
So, all right. Before we move in. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Trust me, Al, you'll be the first.
Great. Okay. All right. Great. All right. I'm a reporter, Josie. I'm required to continue to ask what the hell you're talking about. Before we jump into the show and have some fun, we're going to have fun tonight.
Oh, okay.
We want to do one more announcement. Aaron Phoenix is still in quarantine in the west coast of Florida, and Power Infinity is in quarantine, but also can't do digital like Josie tonight, and that is because he's getting ready to turn 106 years old.
Oh, so
please share that, Tiffany. Share that with Power. I didn't know you were 106.
Black
apparently doesn't crack.
The watermelon.
Nah, I knew she was going to be blowing something tonight. I just thought it would be candles.
So everybody, let's wish Power
birthday,
Infinity happy birthday tonight. He is turning, I think,
1,000,000.
31. I think he's
Do
turning
not
30.
tell a black woman's age; it'll come to haunt you. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So
I
happy
missed you.
birthday.
Thank you for being back.
Yeah, happy birthday, Power.
They're out celebrating tonight.
Right. And he's probably debauchery, alcohol. Oh, God only knows what's... Yeah,
Tampa boys,
immigration.
Tampa boys are a lot of fun. I've gotten some great sirs that I've met in Tampa. It is a fantastic place to be.
Right.
Inebriate and lubricate.
Okay.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Secret Service. All right, so
Secret
let's
Service.
jump right into our meme of the week. Let's jump into the show. Each It's Happening Out, we start kind of in a nerdish way and show the meme of the week. I haven't. None of the hosts have seen it. Let's see our meme of the week here. And the meteor that hit the Yucatan and destroyed and killed all the dinosaurs apparently is really the economy. And oh shit, the economy is going to be wiped out. And clearly that is true. Interesting. Any thoughts about
the
our
first?
meme of the
I
week?
speak for the viewers. This is not my thought, Al. This is from the viewers. So
Okay.
I have to ask you. What does it feel like the second time, dinosaur, that the meteor?
Oh. You know, America,
Oh, shit.
America, let me tell you something. Misty's a one-trick pony. She called me fat in Q News tonight.
You missed
And
it.
Napoleon calls me old. And they're both one-trick ponies trying to keep up with me.
You say that like I do it repeatedly. I've done it once, and I wasn't even pointing directly at you. I was just saying.
All right.
I've got 5
By the
drinks.
way, you know the sad thing about
Waiting
this
in a corner.
meme is 3 months from now, this meme is going to be totally true. If we thought the first 3 months were bad, wait till the second
Yeah,
quarter.
we had the worst first quarter since 2008, and,
Yeah.
and one of the worst since the Great Depression.
Yeah.
That was only 2 weeks that we had with that.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
April
it's
going to
coming.
bring? Oh
It's
my
coming.
God.
All right, let's move out of meme of the week. Tiffany is already jonesing for some alcohol. So we're going to move right
No cheating.
into I'd Swallow That, our game that we play. And we have shots here that we're getting ready to do. And I'm going to ask a question, and our hosts are going to agree by taking the shot or not touch the shot if they don't agree. And we encourage you to play along with us at home. Production will stay with me and not get ahead of me. And we're going to play I'd Swallow That. Everybody
home-
understand?
Yeah, at home we know you're ahead. It's Corona time, so take a triple shot every time we get it.
That's right. Tiffany, you understand? You've played this game before?
Oh yes,
Yes.
darling. Nothing new.
Do they drink on South Beach on Ocean Drive?
Don't insult us.
Yeah,
did
that's right.
They're the capital of the alcoholics.
All right, here we go.
In Key West.
Question number 1. I'd swallow that. Mother's Day, which is this Sunday, is very important to me.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Million. It's Mama. Yeah, no, you always respect Mama. No.
Josie, I got to jump in with you because you're apparently the only one that is still quarantined with Mama. So I guess she's important to you.
Yeah. And at this point, you know, I could throw her through the window, but, you know.
Not the Mama! Josie,
I have to make up for all the kids who are not going to be able to see my mother and give her a hug. So I have to make up for all the love from the entire family this Mother's Day. And again, you know, listen, she did a great job in making me, so I honor her.
America, you don't know this, but likely Josie's mother is within 20 or 30 feet. So I'm going to prompt Josie to tell the story about how her mother wants to continue to get out and see her boyfriend. Tell us that story, Josie. No. There's silence.
Josie says no.
There's
She respects her mom.
Look, Josie could still get her butt whooped by her mama.
That's
I don't
right.
think she wants that to happen.
That's exactly right.
So I think Josie's gonna leave that.
Josie played professional women's football, and Mama taught her how to do it. So that's that. Now, Tiffany, you said on a scale of 1 to 10, what does that mean as it relates to your mother and importance to you?
Well, okay. So when my mom was alive, it was very important to me. Now that she has passed, the way for me to get biased and not think about Mother's Day. So that's
So it can
why
be sad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too.
It used to be
Mom's
really
gone.
bad. Like,
Yeah.
it was horrible. But now much better.
Yeah.
So Mother's Day is not as important to me, just so I can get through it.
And being the Empress of South Beach, how many people call you mother?
Nobody. Auntie. I don't want to be nobody's mother.
No. You misunderstand.
Oh.
What I was asking is how many people call you mother? No, sorry.
I guess you want to be an aunt.
Bitch, yes, motherfucker. No, they don't. Oh, sorry, they don't know.
We're
they
in
don't
cable.
want that
You can
heat.
say that.
They don't want that heat, honey.
Have you seen The Handmaid's Tale?
Yes, I love.
Okay,
it.
but you still want to be an aunt?
Yes,
Right.
I'm that bitch. I'm the one coming around with a taser saying, "Don't do that," and then walk away. Because you're not my child. Don't have to worry
America,
about it.
if you do not know Tiffany Fantasia, this basically she rules Ocean Drive in South Beach with an iron hand. If you're a drag queen and you step out of line, oh God
She ain't
help
like
you.
that.
God help.
That's why I go just in leather. I love being.
The lies.
And Misty, was this important to you Mother's Day?
My mother and I have a strange relationship at best.
Is
but
she still in Oklahoma?
No, she's in top. You threw me off. Anchorage.
Anchorage.
She's in Anchorage.
Oh, in Alaska.
Um,
She's a burly girl.
No, she's my mommy.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we have a strained relationship. We didn't speak for many years after I got kicked out of college, and we are trying to work on a relationship now. But this Mother's Day is important to me because of my drag children and my trans children, and my husband and I one day would like to actually have a family of our own.
Nice.
And it's important to me for a different reason. I wasn't even thinking of my real mom when I took the shot.
America, you don't know this. Misty grew up in Oklahoma and went to
Anchorage,
Oral.
Alaska.
Well, but went to Oklahoma and went to Oral Roberts University and had some problems at Oral Roberts because it turned out Oral Roberts liked Misty. He liked Misty a lot. At least that's the rumor I've heard.
I did not hear
Oral
no.
Roberts.
But what do you call
Oral
two gay
wanted
guys
some
named
oral
Bob?
from Misty. Oh, child.
And I saved Napoleon for last in this question because this boy is the biggest mama's boy I have ever met on the planet. I know Sunday's important to you.
Yeah, I am freaking Anakin Skywalker. My mom means everything to me. I am so excited that this is Mother's Day. I am hopeful that our economy can get the things that were sent to her. I know she's watching right now, so if not, don't worry. There's about 55 things that I have from a various number of places that are going to show you love that you deserve. Because hey, I was a very difficult person to raise. Okay, I'm what they call an orchid child.
I believe
And so
you.
yeah. So yeah.
Does that mean late bloomer?
No. Like I took a lot of energy from not just my mother, but primarily.
Are
from
you
the air
kidding?
dry.
This is a black hole sucking.
me. As I
Are you an only child?
No, I'm not an only child. I have an older sister, but I was a difficult child. My parents couldn't fully understand me, and they
What
showered
about
me with love.
me?
Yes.
What
Right?
about what I want?
That's exactly right.
Come on, Tim,
Miss Plays, I want to let you know, I've done everything I can do to raise your child, and now he comes back to you starting tomorrow.
55 things.
Mom, the only place I'd ever want to be is with you.
All right, let's move
Glad
on to
you're
question
isolated.
number 2. I'd swallow that. I turn to Tiffany, miss nightlife.
She can have my shot.
My goodness.
I can have your. Oh yeah, you don't
That's
do that.
right there.
Oh, you a
Girl, I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm
been
at
born
work at 8
again.
o'clock in the morning now.
I miss nightlife. I haven't been asleep in almost 30 hours. I haven't. I didn't sleep last night.
Why?
That's why I knew Napoleon and Mama's Boy, because he talked to his mom really, really super early, and we talked and etc.
And then I talked to Al, so it's killed it.
And that didn't land.
I think it did. I think everyone understood what I was
Tiffany,
talking
did that joke? You're a good comedy expert. Did that joke land?
Did you see me laugh?
Exactly.
All right, so thank you for your
If you
last
have
night here
to
at Tiffany
explain it,
Fantasia.
it's
We
not
appreciate
funny.
it.
Ooh.
Oh my
Thank
God, I wish
you.
it were Halloween.
I knew I was going to like all the girls here tonight. Tell us about missing nightlife, Tiffany.
Honey, I really miss it. Waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, be able to go to Twist. Honey.
Did you say waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, girl, I got a busy day life. And, Twist closes at 5, so.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
I read a-
I worked there.
Everyone here has like
much
55 jobs
drinking
all the time.
and,
like-
running into people.
It don't get
having
cute
fun.
till 2 a.m.
I read a post last week about COPA, and the life at Copa
Yes.
from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And it was like, oh my gosh, those were the days. Yeah.
Copa was everything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Josie, do you miss the nightlife? You are up all night. I know you are.
Look, I called you last night after my other Zoom
You want me to tell
party.
that story?
Oh, Lord.
No. Let's go.
No? We got stories here. We put them in our pocket to pull them out to use as blackmail when we need them.
Hashtag Animal Crossing.
Yes.
No, listen, I miss nightlife only for the fact that I come from the restaurant, the service industry. My whole entire life has been about the nightlife. And, that's when things work for me. And all my friends, my people, my associates, my colleagues, we're nightlife people. The music, the energy, just the camaraderie, the community that is created during the night. It's not for everyone, but it worked for me. Even my dad told me I had to find a job. He says, I hope you find a job that you work at night because you really hate the morning. I have adapted because there's other people I need to talk to who operate in the AM hours. But nightlife is really a part of who I am, and it's a part of my soul.
Yeah. And Napoleon, I understand you miss the nightlife because that's when you did most of your tricks. Is that true?
No, I would try to have them over at like the first thing in the morning because that's when everyone's hard and ready to go, and then they forgetful, so I don't have to deal with them again.
Wow, morning wood. All right.
Mo.
Okay. Interesting to me about the LGBT community and nightlife, there has been some things that have started to be written about this. Probably when COVID is finally finished and we found the vaccine and it becomes more normalized, historians are going to say that COVID, besides the issue of death and the economic impact, that in terms of cultural significance, it hit the LGBT community square on the jaw because we're so social.
Yeah.
And we're
It's our
so
church.
out. It's our church.
It is our church.
And as
Fellowship
a result,
of like-minded
this has affected-
individuals.
You principally work the Palace, right, on South Beach. The Palace is our church on South Beach.
Very much.
And COVID has interrupted
our gay
that.
church has events that have nothing to do with what most people would see as being spiritual.
Exactly.
They have arts, they have entertainment, they have interactivity.
That's
Gay
exactly
church
right.
is more than just God.
Let's move on to question number 3. I'd swallow that. I'm okay with movies, not going to the theater. I love movie theaters.
Yep.
I
I'm
hate
am
movie theaters.
A-okay with
I don't
that.
know what person decided that having was an acceptable way of going to a movie theater.
Are you doing some kind of sexual thing?
No, I'm going to a movie theater with you where you do two things. Chomp on popcorn like that, like you're an otter going, and then fall asleep like this.
Are you calling me fat?
Wow.
There's
That
been
was
a
cute
theme
news
here
tonight.
tonight. And I want to know, I want to source trace here for a moment. And let's trace this, right? All right.
No, but movie theaters are terrible. Yeah, you get like a good experience every now and then, but mostly it's just people chewing popcorn because it makes you want to buy drinks. No, good movie theater snacks are frozen fruits that you can take in. Bring raisins. Why don't they have those? Because those are too healthy and cheap.
Who buys the food there? Bring in whatever
Yeah,
you want.
we can.
Just bring
Everyone has
You
popcorn.
You supposed to bring a big jacket
I don't
and
need
hide a double cheeseburger
Put it in your purse.
pocket, and or a big person hide the food. The goodies.
Is that my drag
Tiffany,
person? I'll just have,
I agree.
burger breasts.
You bring in snacks, but the last time I saw you at the movie theaters, you came in here in Wilton Manors to the movie theater, and you weren't supposed to bring all of those ribs in. It's not appropriate in the movie theater to bring all of the ribs.
Oh, so you saying I eat ribs because I'm black?
Am I the only one that misses going to
I
the
do
movies?
not eat ribs. Thank you very much. Nice try.
Ow.
Try again.
All right,
That was stereotypical.
let's move on to question. We'll quickly move on to question number 4. I'd swallow that. Keep it greasy.
I don't understand this.
Depends on what we talk
Keep it
about.
greasy.
I don't know if I should drink or not.
Let's start with Tiffany.
Don't be a dry hoe. Be a greasy hoe.
Greasy bitch.
Bitch. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
Yes, you
You're
can
a hoe
always
too, it's
keep
okay.
it greasy. Why would you want it dry? Do you eat dry food? Depends on what it is, right?
Well, as a pup, maybe.
Do you like dry skin? No, you want put some lotion on there. Put some Girl,
And
and when it comes to sex, you put some lubrication on it.
I'm going to be
don't
totally silent because if I even speak a word, Power Infinity is going to start a campaign tomorrow that's going to
Is this a
rage on
racial
for
thing?
weeks. So I'm.
I don't know
just
what
gonna
this
say
is.
Wait. We're getting out of fun and maybe getting into like some educational period. Like, what were you asking, Misky?
Yeah, define greasy.
Where'd we get this thing from? Who said it? Where'd we find it?
It's Tiffany's statement. It's even on her shirt right now. But like the whole idea
It's part
is
of my catchphrase.
Be a greasy bitch.
Yeah.
That's what her shirt says. You can't see it because it's cropped off. Be
Can
a
I-
greasy
I don't know
No,
if
you
to
can't
stand
stand.
up and show
No, no,
me.
no.
Don't stand,
No,
don't
you're
stand.
in a shot.
Bam!
There you are. There you are.
Bam!
you just wanted to show your tits on TV.
Don't be a
Congratulations.
dry
Like you
hoe.
show your
Keep it
ass.
greasy.
Oh, I'm not gonna. But you know, you really look like Nene in that. By the way, I remember that
Really?
controversy. Long conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a greasy bitch.
I'm not looking at her shirt. I'm looking at her hair. I love her hair.
You love big hair.
And I do. Speaking of big hair, Josie, Lord, is your hair going to God? Yeah, exactly.
Just so you know that in this corona crisis, this quarantine, I have surrendered. I cut my hair yesterday. I couldn't take it any longer. And look, I still have it, guys. I know exactly my hairstyle.
And interestingly enough, America, you don't know this, but if you think she's got a lot of hair there, let me tell you, there's some other places.
Oh, don't worry. Al is a Gold Star gay.
How do you know?
Al's never seen a vagina, including his own. He has no idea what they look like.
How do
All
you
right.
know?
Talk to Marcy, okay? Talk to
Yeah,
Marcy.
that's where I get the information. All right,
long-term
let's move out of
relationship.
our game here and let's move into some celebrity stuff, our hot topics this week. Our first hot topic tonight is We're Here brings drag to small towns as a form of protest to raise awareness. We prepared a little package on this. Watch this.
Drag is about empowerment. We travel across this country to take people from who they are to what they can be. Thank God I brought these. We're actually taking some locals, turning them into fierce drag queens. Shangela, Love the Drag Queen, and Eureka. We came and we brought drag. Ooh, I feel like Mary Poppins, bitch. These small towns, there are people who have never seen a drag queen. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. No, I'm kidding. I see rough around the edges.
There is improvement to be made.
I think we all go through that struggle of life, doubts and insecurities, and just people making fun of you or bullying you.
Everything about me, at one point or another, has been used against me.
It all started when Haley came out.
My mom had this look as she thought I would go to hell.
If you could say something to them now, what would you say? You know?
Sorry.
I want you to feel like you have a purpose. Honey, you can't live for nobody but yourself. Give me a hug.
If I'm not willing to live in the shoes of somebody who does drag, then how can I expect someone to understand my experience?
Really, it's like a triumph of love over labels.
How do you feel being in drag?
Sexy as f. I just feel like so electric. Love is love is love. Am I right? That's our job, to get out there and educate and continue to be visible. We're here. Oh my God. It just knocked the wind out of me. Oh, all in a gay's work.
Who is this RuPaul that we speak of, and who are these girls? Oh, wait.
Love is love.
Love is love. Shout out to Shangela. I was
Yes.
just saying, one of the
Retweet.
favorite girls that I worked with on the RuPaul cruises. What do y'all think about this show, We're Here? And
Initially, my first thought was, why more RuPaul drag queens? There's so many drag queens in the United States. Why focus on them? But I do love the three that they chose. I wish that they would have picked a trans entertainer to include. I've only seen 2 episodes of this show, and I think on each episode there was a trans girl that hasn't come out as trans yet, but I could see it in them.
The first answer
radar.
to your question is, of the seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race and all of the different inclinations, there is 791 RuPaul drag queens, and so they've got to work, and that's
Yeah,
why
but
you
the
keep
drag
seeing
queens
them over
that
and
have
over.
not made it on RuPaul's Drag Race, for example, Miss Tiffany, Miss Misty EYEZ, TP Lords, Daisy Dead Petals. There's a lot of queens that have not made it on RuPaul's Drag Race. They should also be put on a TV show. That was my point. But hold on, let me go. The first episode I watched,
Ooh, wait,
I watched
did you
it.
just shut Napoleon
Yes.
down? Oh,
I have a point, and yet I haven't been able to say it. I wanted to hate this show. I wanted to not like it. Let's put it that way. Because I love drag. I will always be a drag queen. That's how I became who I am. But I wanted to not like it because of the RuPaul aspect. I stopped watching her when she was so adamantly against trans people. However, the first episode, I bawled my freaking eyes out.
Yeah.
I cried and cried. Again, I have a tumultuous relationship with my mother. And when that mother went on the stage and apologized to her daughter, I became a huge fan of the show. And I think that there's such a strong message that you can't not like it. And it almost made me want to text my mom and say, please watch this show. She never would. But I'm a fan.
You know, before we move on to other hosts commenting on the show, Misty, I'm curious, did you ever get to the point where you forgave RuPaul on her transposition for the show?
No, I stopped watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
Today, you still haven't forgiven RuPaul?
Has she come forward and sincerely apologized?
No, her position today is that the reality show of RuPaul's Drag Race is men transformation into women as pure drag.
Wait, no, that's changed a bit since. I mean, she's had trans people on. She's had Gia Gunn come back on.
They were not.
No.
Gia was trans when she came back.
Yeah, but the celebrity version or the reunion version is different.
Yeah.
An All-Stars version is different. And specifically here, well, let me ask it in a different way, Misty, trans representative tonight here on the show. Do you think you'll get to the point where you do ultimately forgive RuPaul?
I will when she casts a trans woman on her show.
It's never going to happen.
I know that. That's why I was waiting to get my breast implant until I was on the show. I talked with Michelle about it. I talked with a lot of people about it. But the fact was they knew I was trans even though I didn't get my breast implant yet. And the second they find out a girl is trans, they're eliminated. So that's something that I couldn't hide anymore.
Okay, all right. Any other thoughts about the show?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts about the show, but even just about the trans comment, I know you know Rue a lot better than I do, the both of you, but I feel that he's moving in that direction. I mean, we have a lot of people on RuPaul that have been queens on it that have come out as being trans. We have Jiggly Caliente from season 4.
Almost every season has a trans
way back when. Well, in the beginning they didn't, and now it's starting to come out. Peppermint from season 9 is. And we did have Gia Gunn, who was in season 6, but came back for All Stars 2 or 3, I think it was 3, and was trans. And so, meaning came out as trans. She was always trans, but she came out as trans. And so I think RuPaul's even stated that he's being more open-minded toward having trans people on it. You say this, I feel like it's a little bit outdated to say that, and I'm not the trans
The last
expert,
quote
obviously.
I want to get back onto this topic of we are here, but the last quote I saw from RuPaul saying, Olympic athletes are not allowed to take performance-enhancing drugs, and she feels, and I say she because all drag queens are she, even though she refers to herself as he, she feels hormones are a performance-enhancing drug, and therefore drag queens that take hormones are cheating. Yet she allows Detox and Chad Michaels, who have had all the silicone, but they haven't taken hormones, so they're okay?
Because they're not naming them first doing
I want to
wrestling.
move on beyond this conversation. Tiffany, I'm curious. You're the drag queen here tonight. What do you think about We're Here?
We're Here. I think it's awesome. You have 3 very talented drag queens together. No, I'm sorry. Bob the Drag Queen is one of the funniest drag queens out there. Shangela is not only an inspiration, but she can dance her ass off, and she's one of the sweetest people I know. And I've met Eureka one time, and she was a doll to me also. So I think they're amazing. I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad that now the focus might be taken off of RuPaul's Drag Race, because I feel that formula is going to get old. So I'm happy that there's something like this, and hopefully other shows that are drag oriented will come of it, and we will have a show that maybe features more trans individuals doing drag and stuff. So I feel like that segue from RuPaul's Drag Race being the only way to be famous is starting to happen, and this show will be the catapult.
You know, it's funny. I was involved with the show for years and years and years, And for years and years and years, everyone said this formula is going to get old really, really quick. It hasn't gotten really old.
Well, it's
on its way.
If you listen to the internet, it's starting to get
But it's
old
not just that. They have so
aspect.
many spin-offs. They have the one where it's celebrity drag, and they had a Drag You a long time ago, and now they have one where there's 5 drag superhero babies or something like that. No, I'm not kidding. All of these things exist.
All right. Well, it's an interesting show. I encourage you to watch it because I agree with Misty. The first episode is absolutely incredible.
Phenomenal.
A second topic that we want to talk about in celebrity tonight is Me Too. #MeToo. Me Too comes after Vice President Biden. Of course, big news, the political election. Pretty much we know how much of the LGBTQ community thinks of Donald Trump, and they are going to think about the Democratic nominee running for president. But before we have conversation about this, let us show you this package we prepared. Watch this.
There are photos and videos going back decades showing him embracing constituents, hugging people on the campaign trail, occasionally kissing female supporters, even on the lips sometimes. So we know that Joe Biden has this style, and it's been part of his persona for many years. It's one of the reasons he's beloved. Since late March, things have been different. People have been looking at Joe Biden's interactions, particularly with women, in a new light. And that's because a Nevada state legislator, former Nevada state legislator named Lucy Flores, came forward with her own allegations about an encounter she says happened between them in 2014 that made her feel quite uncomfortable.
Out of nowhere, I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head.
Since Lucy Flores' piece came out and became a kind of national controversy, Joe Biden put out his own statement in his own words. He said that he never intended with any of his behavior to make anyone feel uncomfortable. He's very clear, and all of his aides and his supporters want people to know that they feel that his intentions are pure, that his character is good. He's not quite acknowledging that what Lucy Flores said is correct, or that the perceptions of his behavior by people who are more critical are correct, but he is saying that there's room for them to give their stories and that he's ready to listen to them.
Well, it's big news. Of course, even bigger news in terms of the allegation that has been made this week against Vice President Biden. What do y'all think about this? Is this, first off, let's start from the broadest level. In the LGBT community, do we care about this subject? Do we even care?
About the Me Too subject or about Joe Biden?
No. I know we care about #Me Too and Me Too in general. But specifically with Vice President Biden and the effect that it would have on him in terms of being president of the United States, running against Trump, do we, in context of that issue, do we care about, like, the new allegations this week? Do we care?
I think we should care. I mean, because it could be any one of us. You know, if what's being said is true, then yes, we should care. I think we should hear her out. Excuse me. But at the same time, the new allegation, I question it because of the timing. Only because he was vice president before. So normally when somebody becomes a public figure is when these stories come out, because the person who they did something to does not want them to be in that position because they are a dangerous person, which I completely understand and agree with.
Sabotage.
But at this point, it's like, okay, wait a minute. He's done all this stuff. He's been in public for so long. You wait till now. And, you know, maybe there's something deeper that I'm not understanding with her story.
No, I think you got it right.
But from, you know, to try and look at this objectively is hard to because of the timing.
I don't want to say that she was wrong in saying she was uncomfortable. Maybe she was uncomfortable, maybe. But I do agree with Tiffany. I think the timing is off. I think it's sabotage. Now, me personally, after I got kicked out of ORU, which we talked about earlier, I went to a beauty school. And I was the only person pretending to be male at the school. And I was with all cisgendered women. And I was very affectionate. I'm from a very large family. There's 7 kids. And we were all squeezed into the back seat of a car. And we grew up on top of each other. So when I would go up to girls, I'd be like, hey, and I'd put my hand on their back. Sometimes I'd play with their hair or their shoulders or whatever. I'm very affectionate as a person. To me, I look at Joe Biden as a grandfather figure and an affectionate person. If he was a cold-hearted person, people are like, oh, he's hateful, like all the things we're saying about Ellen and other people, like they're not affectionate and they're rude, but he's being affectionate. And kissing the top of your head, that's not molestation, that's not assault. He didn't grab her in the pussy. That's a different presidential candidate. And he kissed somebody on the top of their head, that's like a grandpa or a mom or a dad or an uncle. I don't think his intentions were ill at all.
Any other thoughts? Final thoughts?
Yeah, as viewers that have been on board for the for the year and a half that we've had this show on air, I have my experiences with Me Too. I think it's impossible to be a young gay man living in the gayest place on planet Earth and not have your Me Too experiences. What's I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but what's disconcerting to me about this story, you guys mentioned the timing, but is how the gay community, at least the ones that I know online that are, they themselves, a lot of people friend me on my various social media pages, or friend is the wrong word, but find it and collect it. Yeah, and then they just hit me up, yo, pics, yo this, yo that. And then those same people will say, yo, no, Tara Reid, the person that's being accused currently, not the athlete or actress, but Tara Reid is definitely someone that you need to listen to. And yet at the same time, okay, well, fine. Respect her, look into their sources, treat it like it's a person. Yeah, treat her like she's a person.
Hear them.
I completely believe that. But if you don't think that this is opportunistic to say this time, which you both mentioned before, and even more importantly, if you don't think that you have to play the game a little bit better to say what's going on, it's harmful. We are not playing a game of checkers. We're not playing a game of hopscotch. So if you want to be a little kid that's just going to say, oh, none of this matters, well then fine. None of this matters. But we are going to lose our entire country if you want to not vote for Biden. He's not my top choice either, but he's what we have. And that's the answer. Play chess.
I was almost kicked out of beauty school because I touched girls. And I'm like, I don't even like girls. So they, like 4 girls were like, I just don't want you to touch me. And they went to the officials and it was a big freaking ordeal about me. And I'm like, totally. So I see it from a complete, yes, I've been Me Too'd by many people, especially as a very young child. But I don't see this as a Me Too thing.
I want to zero in specifically on Tara Reid. What does it say about Biden to go on Morning Joe with Mika Brzezinski and be so emphatic? Doesn't that, the investigation will continue in some fashion, but doesn't that for most of us put the issue to rest? He was absolutely emphatic.
She just wants attention. At this point, you can only clarify that she wants attention. She wants to be seen as this person that took down Biden and helped Trump to stay in office.
Tiffany, I'm curious. You disagree with that. How come?
Because there's been many people who've done it and the evidence is there and they've been just as emphatic. If not, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was somebody else. Baby, I just want to see the evidence. I could care less what Joe has to say and what she has to say as far, because a lot of it's hearsay, a lot of it's wrong. Show me the evidence. If you that's the way I'm going to believe it.
I want to ask one more time. Josie, I'm curious your opinion. I asked, does LGBTQ America care about Tara Reid and this story? You contrast, not saying it's right in any way, I'm not making that observation. You contrast this kind of amorphous claim versus Donald Trump, where we know there's been 21 claims against him for sexual assault, including, I can grab her pussy because I'm a celebrity. Does LGBTQ community, do we care about this? Do you care about this?
I mean, from a personal level, I care about this. I care about the Me Too movement. I care about our human rights. And I care about the track record of our leaders. I care about whether or not our president has been accused or found guilty of, assaulting other women. As a woman, I speak from being a woman who has also had my very own Me Too experience, and it's a part of our culture. And I'm just happy that it's coming to the surface and we're having it, weave its way into all of our conversations, including the LGBTQ, because like Napoleon says, he can relate to the Me Too. Like Misty and Fantasia say, they understand the Me Too. And I don't think that any of us in the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community, I don't think any of us are saying that Tara Reid is just to discredit her. But I think it's really more along the lines of what Fantasia said originally. Joe Biden has held the vice president office for 2 terms, not just one, for 2 terms. And there was quite the opportunity to bring this information out then through his 30 plus years of being in politics. There has been many opportunities. Why now? Why now? Why here?
And specifically, that's one smoking gun where there's smoke. The second is that she filed a complaint, and he was unequivocal that it would be filed in the Senate Records Division. Find it. I give you permission. Open it and find it. And there is that issue. Why he didn't, or why Tara Reid didn't do it when he ran for vice president of the United States with Obama, never crossed. And friends of hers have contradicted what she said. There's many smoking guns here, and of course, it's going to unpeel. It's going to be like an onion, but it is an interesting story with the president. We're going to move out of celebrity hot topics to move to the best thing of the week. We try to find fun things each week that we can zero in on. It's basically the only thing that we're able to get Napoleon to look up out of whatever it is he's looking down at.
Grinder.
And so we Grinder.
Look at my phone.
All right, so this is the best thing of the week, and it's called Drive-In Rave in Germany.
Yes.
Watch this. Great. That is great. I wish I was there.
Me too. Who doesn't want to be in Germany all the time?
Hit your horn!
Hit your
Gentlemen.
Hit your horn. I bet Tony Moran saw that and was jealous as all get out. Any thoughts? Anything else other than we
I
love
think
it?
next week we need to go to Germany. Clearly, clearly that's the only opportunity right here, right now. That is our chance to get there. Why aren't we raving?
Yeah.
Let's be raving.
Amazing. I love it. I don't know how much dancing I could do in my seat, but I love it.
I have to tell you I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josie.
We also have a nice park right across the street from Bubbles and Pearls, next to City Hall, here in Wilton Manors, called Hagen Park. We could do one of our own right here in Wilton Manors.
Yeah,
we
that
don't
would.
have to go to Germany. You know how many great DJs we have in our community?
Yeah,
Let's
that's
do it
right.
now.
Yeah,
Let's
that would
do
be
it.
fun.
Let's do it for a cause.
Yeah, we that's a great idea. We move out of best thing of the week to what's on your mind. Each week at It's Happening Out, I ask the host, what's on your mind this week? And I give them 30 seconds to tell me and you what's on their mind. Everybody know how we're going to play this? I'm going to watch the time very carefully. Napoleon, very carefully. I'm going to watch this time. No. All right. So tell us what's on your mind this week. And Napoleon, let's start with you.
I've been feeling down this week, and so I'm bipolar. I experience highs and lows and lows. And this week in particular, a week ago through now, roughly, it's been a down week. And I know a lot of people feel down. The world is in chaos, as I mentioned on Q News tonight a couple days ago. The plagues are hitting us. Now the giant hornets are here. But I'm doing my best to be disciplined, to remember that even if I'm feeling all these things, that it doesn't mean I have to stay in bed, that I can get out, that I can talk to people, that I have many ways of dealing with it. And while it is a chemical thing to deal with, there are lots of strategies that I can have, even if the world is falling apart.
And America, you don't know Napoleon as well as I do. There were lots of code in that. When he said stay in bed, he was talking to 19 different guys that were listening very, very closely of what was on his mind. Josie, what's on your mind this week?
Well, like Napoleon, mental health is on my mind. You know, as I call around and I stay connected to friends in different cities, to my friends here in South Florida and around our community, I recognize that folks are having a real hard time with being isolated from our normal lives. And it's going to be really important for us to, and I'll continue sharing over the next weeks, just methods to help navigate through this and put tools in our toolbox to help us see the other side. Because we're all going to get through it, but we're going to get through it together.
I think it's interesting to me, mental health in social isolation with what we're watching in this pandemic is one of the least discussed issues that is super high. Napoleon mentions it, now Josie has mentioned it, and I agree with them. It's something that's very, very important. Misty, what's on your mind this week?
Usually when I'm here on It's Happening Out, mental health is on my mind, and self-care and respecting yourself and taking care of yourself, etc. But right now, summer classes start next week. I have a Monday night class on Monday, starting this Monday, and I'm scared a little. I don't think I'm an online learner, and that's how it's going to proceed. So maybe on Tuesday I will not be in summer school this semester. I don't know. My mind is thinking about school. I'm only taking 2 classes this coming semester on Monday nights and Saturday mornings. And if I have to do them from home on my computer, I might not want to do it. I might wait till fall. I don't know. I'm very conflicted on my thoughts.
To be fair, we don't know when summer's happening. Right now, it's the middle of December of last year, for all I know, and anyone knows, so it's good.
Tiffany, tell us what's on your mind this week.
I have been very busy behind the scenes. There's a project called the Pride Collective, which is happening this weekend, May 9th and 10th, online, and it's 5 of our prides. It's Palm Beach, Stonewall, Miami Beach Pride, Gay Ocho, and I can't think of the other one.
Pride of the Americas?
Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale Pride. We're all getting together doing a virtual pride. I'm co-hosting with Kitty Meow. I'm so excited. We have so many celebrities coming in to MC and host. We have so many singers and performers just doing their thing, and DJ sets. It's going to be amazing, and all the money is going back to the community for people who have been affected by COVID-19.
I think that is awesome. This week, what's on my mind is Donald Trump has basically snapped in my head. This week, officially, he has snapped in my head. I have watched a degree of lying, self-edification, manipulation, and lack of respect for basic humanity to the point where I cannot stand it anymore. And I'm trying to figure out how I and maybe 5 other million LGBT people can absolutely end his presidency on November 3rd. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to do it. And that's what's on my mind this week. We're going to move into a topic to talk about COVID, but as it relates to healthcare. Did you know it's National Nurses Day? Many frontline workers in the pandemic have been treated poorly in the past, but nurses and medical professionals have been elevated as first responders, like fire and police. We've prepared something about it. Watch this.
So, it's finally happened.
That thing you were afraid of.
Something's come from overseas and taken your jobs.
Made it unsafe to walk the streets.
Kept you trapped in your home.
A dirty disease.
Your proud nation gone.
But not me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.
No, you clap for me now.
You cheer as I toil.
Bringing food to your family.
Bringing food from your soil.
Propping up your hospitals.
Not some foreign invader.
A delivery driver.
Teacher. Lifesaver.
Don't say go home.
Don't say not here. You know how it feels for home to be a prison.
You know how it feels to live in fear.
That I cross for you.
To make lives filled with peace.
And bring peace to your life too.
Come, all you Gretas.
You Malalas.
You immigrants.
See what we have learned.
It only takes the smallest thing
To change the world.
I love that phrase. We say thank you and we promise to remember. National Nurses Day, what do y'all think?
I really like that particular clip because it reminded people that it takes everybody to make a nation great or otherwise. Like, they were telling, hey, you guys diss us left and right, but we're the ones making it happen when you need it the most. And that was such a strong and powerful message, and it wasn't filled with negativity. So I think that was amazing.
Nurses have always been the heavy lifters in the medical field, and I've always felt that they were the ones that bear the weight. Many times, if I've ever had to go in the emergency room, the nurse does everything. The doctor walks in and says, "This is it, you're good." And I think today, this year, because of this pandemic, all of America agrees and they're paying attention. Congrats, nurses. Thank you.
Misty, you hit it right on the head. I mean, I know a lot of people would expect me to do what I did in Q News Tonight. Check out episode from earlier today, where I'm just howling on that because it's amazing. Nurses are very sexy. They've got their, swishy swashy sweatpants and all that, and they're also very smart and caring. Scrubs, that's the right word. But more importantly than that, I mean, I would have died without nurses' help. When I was 13, I had gangrene with appendicitis, and if my nurse hadn't been the one after days in and out of the hospital to tell me that, I would have died. It's nurses that do the heavy lifting. You are exactly right when you say that. Nurses are the ones that keep the hospital together, and I commend all of them, male or female.
Josie, any final thoughts? National Nurses Day.
I have a lot of friends in the healthcare field, and we, as a community, as an LGBTQ plus community, a lot of our community are a part of that healthcare services, and it speaks to the generosity of our community, right? Nurses are like teachers; they're unsung heroes. They're underappreciated, and they are invisible in our society. It's now in this moment when we need them the most, like they said in that video, is now we're starting to take notice. I hope that when this virus is eradicated, that we don't forget them, and that we also make certain changes to the way nurses are being paid, the conditions in which they're working, and that they are prepared for the next pandemic.
I completely agree with you. I read this beautiful article that compared nurses and healthcare workers being like soldiers in a war. They are the ones that are thrown to the front lines first and foremost, have a high propensity of death. There has been a significant percentage of healthcare workers that have died of COVID-19 because of the exposure of them going to the front lines in hospitals. And my thought as it relates to National Nurses Day, as we've reported on healthcare workers at Q News Tonight frequently, we lost Ron Brunensky. As a reminder to you, he was in ICU for 6 weeks at Miami Palmetto Hospital. His husband, on the day that he checked in, was never able to see him again. He was in medically induced coma, and please God, all of us hope that there were wonderful nurses that at least held his hand until the end. They're unsung heroes, and that's what National Nurses Day is all about. We're going to continue to Saved by the Bell, and Saved by the Bell can be fun because it's a lightning round of LGBT topics in the news this week and other headlines that might have LGBT interest. It's only 60 to 90 seconds. As Napoleon knows, this is my bell that is going to save me personally from Napoleon on my right and Tiffany Fantasia on my left. And if we get to the point where we need to stop, I am going to go, and whoever is speaking must stop in mid-syllable. And it's kind of a lightning round. So we'll see what happens. I'm watching my timer. David Hopkins is going to help me very precisely here. Everybody understand the rules?
Yeah.
Here we go. Saved by the Bell. Story number 1. Anderson Cooper has become a dad at 52, and the religious right says it's terrible because he's a gay dad. What do y'all think?
Yeah, well, they didn't just say it's terrible because he's a gay dad. They said, okay, you're going to have somebody, a surrogate mother, who wants to give you their child, and you're ripping the child away from the mother. How would you feel, Anderson Cooper, if you didn't have a mother? And it's just, I can't even talk about this like it's a serious conversation, because how can you say that to somebody? How would you feel if you didn't have this? Well, you know, I never had a brother. I can't talk about the fiction that you could be creating right now. That's such propaganda, especially to somebody that has lost a parent. Shame. Again, back to this. We need a shame little violin for when we have this game, because so many people are just so shameful.
Now, Tiffany, I remind you, I'm giving a few extra seconds here. In all of the Saved by the Bells, if you don't jump in, Napoleon is going to consume all the oxygen in the room.
Always. I'm going to say congratulations. You're going to be an old daddy. Congratulations.
He's 52 years old.
That was the age my dad was when
going
he had
to be. Really?
Yeah, he died when he was 73 and I was 17.
Okay.
Something
I
like
think
that.
this is beautiful. My husband and I have also talked about surrogacy, and we can't afford it, but he can. So congrats to you.
Come on, copy it.
Anything else?
Josie?
It's okay.
All right. We're going to move on to story number 2 in Saved by the Bell. Biden's new deputy campaign manager is gay, a fox, and a hunk. What do y'all think?
And he's also an actor that was in the Garfield movies. He's also a reality TV star. Take that, all you Republicans who think that that's the only reality TV star. He turned down Hillary Clinton's same offer in 2008 to work for Obama in the same year for the same campaign spot. And he started the Improv of Copenhagen. He is my role model. I said this before, and he actually reached out to me today on Instagram after I sent him the story we did yesterday on Q News Tonight. You're on that. You're on that show. You're on that show.
I'm do the job.
Kidding.
Napoleon has criticized me about RuPaul 500,000 times, and he just did the exact.
I did it one time, not 500,000 times. I mean, and also RuPaul doesn't look like that.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah.
Can he?
I will keep going.
That's
go. You're 90 seconds.
Wait. What was your observation?
Can he do the job? That's all I care about. He needs to do his job.
If you saw his picture, you know he can do the job.
Oh Lord, she's talking about a different job. She's talking about a different job. I'm impressed that Joe Biden put his money where his mouth is. He's been talking about LGBTQ campaign, LGBTQ rights, LGBTQ this. I just messed up my own acronym. And hiring an LGBTQ person is impressive.
Josie, I see you. Jump in.
Okay, I think it's really important. You know, listen, if you want to get anything done in this world, you go ahead and you hire someone from the LGBTQ community.
That's it.
Because we have ambition, we have drive, we have vision, and we have struggle. And when you struggle and you rise from any struggle, you know you have the grit it takes. And in politics, it requires some grit. And Biden, he's a little old right now. And although I'm confident he'll restore humanity, I'm losing my confidence in the rest of what he's able to execute.
Excuse me, you were saying about politics. Anything you want to tell us tonight?
Time extension, Josie.
I'll give you 30 more seconds. Apparently not. All right. We are going to move on to story number 3 and Saved by the Bell. Many are afraid Trump will ignore the transfer of office. Let me give you a little context. On Sunday, there was a mandatory meeting required by law for the Trump administration to begin to meet with the Biden campaign organization to prepare for potential transition to a new president. What's Trump going to do? Any fears?
He's going to bomb the world, is what I imagine, before he'd give up power.
Well, if he doesn't, that's why we have Secret Service.
He's going to burn the house down on his way out, definitely.
Really? You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not literally burn it down.
Oh, honey, he's going to need to burn some of them files, honey. I'm sure he's got some stuff that's illegal.
We know of it. We know of some of a lot
Wait,
of it.
let's listen to Josie talk about politics some more, and I'll ask another question. Go ahead.
You have to be rooting right now for Ruth, okay? You know Ruth Ginsburg.
RBG.
RBG. We need to be rooting for her right now because if anything happens to her, she just was admitted to the hospital because she broke her hip, I believe.
It was gallstones.
Oh, was it
an
gallstones?
infection.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, misinformation. But you understand, an infection at her age. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous, environment we're living in right now. And I know that Donald Trump is ready to push through another Supreme Court justice. We have to be saying our prayers and crossing our fingers that nothing happens before he steps out of office.
That's true, but the problem is that he's stated from the beginning, I deserve a third term. I'm not the ruler, you're the ruler. He's going to try to take a third term, and he's going to enact martial law. He's going to do something. But the thing that I'm looking forward to is if it actually ends up becoming where he doesn't have an election, and it goes to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. How much would it piss him off to have Nancy Pelosi be put in charge because of his negligence?
One last observation about RBG. It would be interesting. We don't want to risk this. We don't. This is a hypothetical observation. But if RBG retired, how could he possibly justify, or the Republicans possibly justify, in the election year nominating a Supreme Court justice after what they did to Obama?
They already did it.
No, in the same year. It would be exactly what they said should not happen with Obama and held it up the entire time.
McConnell said he was willing to do that.
Just a thought. Saved by the Bell story number 4. John Krasinski brings in celebs because there are no commencements this year and they celebrate 2020 grads. In context, Oprah speaks to somebody, Steven Spielberg speaks to somebody, etc. and so on.
Jon Stewart, Malala, we see on TV right now.
What did y'all think about what, and by the way, his YouTube show is called Good News. It's great. It's absolutely great. What do y'all think?
I don't know if you guys have seen how John Krasinski has bulked up, but I would watch him do anything just about now. And he's also really fun, not just his body, he's actually really fun. Obviously, what he's trying to do right now is spread joy. Yes, I'm thirsty. It's been 2 months that we've been in isolation.
Production, would you please make sure you pay attention? Put that lower third below Napoleon right now. Horny as fuck. Now, go ahead, Napoleon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm the only one at this table that still has testosterone, but still, the thing that's about
What did you just say?
You're not at the table. Go on. That's on topic, okay? The thing about this person, look at that. Those are the 3 Johns that we see on TV right now.
Try to focus.
I don't remember. Where are we at?
Yeah, right. All right. Anybody else? John
Someone else, you haters.
I think it's beautiful.
Josie.
What a powerful gift to these folks who are now graduating the class of 2020. Could you imagine being able to sit down with Oprah and ask her a question? When we're in a place where we think nothing is possible, he made something that was impossible possible. And this is what this new moment is about, is bringing what we think on a normal day is impossible. We need to put the energy into it to make things possible, trying new ways. Look, it's nothing off of Oprah's back to get on a Zoom call. You know what I mean? Inspire these future leaders.
And by the way, I'll remind you of that later tonight as we're drinking vodka shots. There was nothing of you getting on a Zoom call here at It's Happening On. Don't tell me. All right. Question number 5 at Saved by... This is Zoom, right? No, I'm only kidding. Production is rioting on me right now.
Okay, Boomer, let's
Question number 5. An Indiana restaurant is doing curbside service called Drag Up, as drag queens serve the food when you come to the restaurant. What do y'all think?
Amazing! I think this is so inventive. It's so needed. I wish they could do that down here. I would definitely be a part of it.
I mean, Josie owns a restaurant, and it's a beloved food location for here. You're a drag queen.
It's, as Tiffany can attest, many of our friends right now are completely jobless. Most drag queens work on tips only, and if you're not the clubs will be the last thing to open. They were the first thing to close. And if a restaurant is going to employ these drag queens and have them deliver food, I think it's amazing, and I definitely applaud this.
You know, the one sad thing that's going on, because I completely agree with your observation. I know how difficult this time is. But people have got to get a little bit more creative. If I watch one more live internet show of somebody painting their nails and asking for donations because of it, I'm
Who are you friends
And
with?
by the way,
Obviously, quality.
my Patreon launches next week. You guys can find me. I'll be doing my makeup and my hair. So make sure to tip highly. I'll
And the
send
one that
link
was
at
doing the
Napoleon
nails,
Plays.
asking for the donations, was down in South Beach, and her name, it was Biffany or Biffan.
Don't make me go bippity boppity boop on your feet. You know damn well that wasn't me. That's
All
not
right.
something I would ever do. My dear mama has a savings account, honey. Love your savings account, honey. She does not need to worry. The rent is being paid on time, if not early. Still, darling. Through a crisis, darling. Don't ever worry about that. That money's right back, Baba.
Honey,
I'm good,
I thought we had
darling.
Shangela on
I'm good.
before, but
I help the
Jesus.
children. The children don't need to
Oh
help me.
my goodness, did I light a fire
I help the
here at
children.
establishment?
I help the children.
That's right. All right. All right. But tomorrow you're going to be serving burgers and fries curbside.
Delivery, honey. This is very Sonic. It's
All
very
right.
original.
Sonic at
Yeah.
Sonic. Oh my
Put on
goodness.
roller skates,
All right.
honey.
Let's move on to our
Nicole.
game. It's called Shag, Marry, Chop. Now, you know how this is. We are going to show 3 people, and we're going to ask all of our hosts who they would shag, who they would marry, who they would chop. And first, we're
God.
looking at, these are fun things to do at home. Lean
Yeah, they are.
workouts with Francis Cobran. Lean workouts.
That's a very fun thing to do at home.
Oh, God. Napoleon is going to bubble over here in this
No,
segment.
you're still here to keep me tempered and
All right.
distracted.
You can learn to dance with Kenny Alvarez. Oh, he's cute. And then finally, you're going to learn to cook with Pedro Carrasco.
It does look like.
Oh, I love his hat. All right. So somebody tell me. Josie, let's start with you. Who are you going to shag, marry, chop?
Since they're not into men and they're all attractive.
Workout.
So I think right off the bat, I'm going to shag Mr. Kenny. He's got the moves. I mean, and he probably has the energy, the stamina to make it work all night. So
Look at
wild. Okay. I'm going to marry Pedro because, listen,
he's a chef. Come on.
He's a chef. He's such a sexy one, too, so we'd have fun in the kitchen. And I got to chop Mr. Francis. You can have him, Napoleon.
I will. I hate you, Josie.
All
I
right.
will.
In that position, it's
Misty,
like a bottom.
Misty, who would you shag, marry, chop? Now, first off, Misty's not getting away with, I'm married, I'm a good Christian woman, and my husband's watching. Who are you going to fuck? Go.
I have never not played this. I've always played this, checking to see if he's watching.
Thank you, Al.
It's tough. I like all of them, but I'm going to shag. I'm going to agree with Josie with Kenny. I'm going to shag Kenny. I'm going to marry Francis, and I'm chopping Pedro.
Really?
No, I'm going to keep my answer.
Yeah, those are your answers. All right. And Tiffany, who I imagine at South Beach, there's not much trade going on down there either. So who are you shagging?
All they have is their bodies.
Oh, darling, we have everything under the sun. It is all about what you want.
It's like a smorgasbord.
Minus the brains.
I would shag Kenny because, I love to dance, so that would be hot. I would marry Pedro because food is the quickest way to my heart. And if you're going to marry somebody for long term, you need somebody that can cook. And Chop will go to Francis because if I'm already dancing, I'm burning energy. Why the hell I need to do the exercise?
I can tell you what's coming right now, and nobody did it. Napoleon, what are you going to do? Where are you shagging?
I actually am I've changed my answers a couple of times because clearly everyone there is worthwhile, and I mean very worthwhile. And I don't care if it's been isolation for 400 years or not. This is a worthwhile group of people. Thank you, production. Now, in terms of shag, I'm gonna go with Kenny.
we're watching your shot.
I'm going to go with Kenny.
Century.
I'm off because I'm just like staring at it right there. I am going to shag Kenny. You're right. Whoever said that he's a dancer and he's got it right. I would love
We've all
to
shagged Kenny.
Did you?
Yeah, everybody
oh,
said they're
oh
shagging
well,
Kenny.
I thought that was different.
Same
I'm not watching you. I'm watching them. Please, you shut your mouth, drag
Napoleon,
queen.
he's not too thin for you?
There's no too thin. But
right
I
now.
love someone that can move and also that can teach me things.
Did you
And
just call me fat?
Oh my God. It's not all about you.
And I would love to dance. Like, I think dancing and working out is a really good pre-sexual experience.
All right.
All right. And God, this is hard.
That's really nice.
I'm going to marry Francis because first of all, look at that squatting.
Yeah.
Look at that squatting. I want somebody that's like, yeah, and he can push
He
me
looks
hard.
corn-fed. I'm with you.
I want someone.
Corn-fed.
I want someone that can push me.
Now, are you talking about where the corn goes, or
No, I mean, he looks like a thick country boy. I like him.
I don't know. He's got moves, and he would teach me to continually be working out. And like I said, working out is the best foreplay. Also, that we'd be fit, and that's fun, and we'd find other people. And then while I'm chopping him, I'm sure with Francis, we would go have a fun little fling with Pedro, who would be our chef.
No cheating.
I would chop him because I don't want to get too fat from a hot chef. All I would want to do is like play with him and then the food.
Girl.
Maybe.
Misty, isn't this true? We learned tonight that Napoleon in coronavirus quarantine has butter abs.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard he has an extra eye that always remains awake. I would definitely go for Pedro as my chopped guy just because I don't need extra fooding, even if I want those nipples.
All right. So that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We hope you enjoy it. I'm cooking tonight. That's all I'm saying is I'm cooking tonight. All right. We're here at the end of the show, and before we say goodnight, we have pizza with us tonight, and we have from Jet's Pizza. Thank you very much. Oh, this is my favorite. This is the cauliflower crust. Let me move it that way. Wait, there we go. I'm looking at
Al will
myself.
never be a weatherman.
This is exactly. I shall not. If you're here in South Florida, of course you already know about Chef's Pizza. When you come here, you for sure want to order from them. They do an absolute fantastic job. We're at the end of the show, and as always, at It's Happening Out, we close the show by giving all of our hosts the opportunity to say goodnight. And Napoleon, let's start with you.
Hello, friends. It's a different week than last week. Ron, we still miss you, of course, forever. But life moves on. COVID continues, and we still find ways to play every day, every way. And part of that for me, with my shameless plug, since Power's not here celebrating his birthday or whatever, I will say I'm launching a lot of different things in my social media. So make sure to tune in, get your friends involved, TikTok, all other things, Patreon, Facebook, not Twitter quite yet, but Snapchat and Instagram. Follow Napoleon Plays. And remember, like I said, to play every day, every way, you have to make sure you get through this, and your mental health is important.
Because I'm Napoleon's marketing manager, you forgot rent men.
Red men?
Rent
men.
Oh, that's cute. I can find people elsewhere.
That joke didn't go anywhere. All right, and Josie, your opportunity to say goodnight.
Good night, everyone. I trust me when I say I understand that this moment is difficult on everyone and it's challenging. And we've all put our lives on pause, and the days don't look like they did. That being said, just know that you're not alone out there. We're all in this together. And it's going to require that we team up and that we stay connected and we remain human through this all. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Don't forget that. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. And one last time, is there anything on the horizon that I should be aware of that you want to share with me? Anything at all?
Actually, Al, now that you bring it up, everyone should follow me on social media.
What, are you Napoleon Plays now? Come on. And Misty, your opportunity to say goodnight.
Yes, thank you, America. Thank you for watching, and good night. Do light a candle or say a prayer. Reach into your beacon of whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, and think of me in prayer this week. On Monday, I would love to finish this project this semester, and yes, Monday night will be a very difficult night for me probably. So say a prayer for me this week. And in the mode of safe care, reach out to people that also look like they're doing just fine. Sometimes the people that paint on the pretty, happy, smiley faces need the most. For example, Robin Williams. So, I mean, the people that entertain you and keep you smiling sometimes are hurting inside.
Absolutely. And lovely thought. And my friend Tiffany Fantasia, I'm contractually obligated to say that, by the way,
My friend.
We need to renegotiate. But I love you guys. Thank you for having me. Stay safe. It looks like we've been through this for a long time, but we really have a long time before we get out of it. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And as always, whatever you do in life, don't be a dry hoe, be a greasy bitch.
Yeah,
Mwah.
absolutely. And America, we remind you, I've been around, as Napoleon says, since the dinosaurs were killed by the meteor. This is unique. It is unique in all of our lifetimes. Yeah. We have never been through anything like this. So don't think you're alone, because you're not. The feelings that you have are absolutely real. If you have fear, it's reasonable. If you have concerns and worries, it's reasonable. Whatever you're feeling is right, because these are incredibly unique times where we have leadership in Washington that is misleading us at every turn. Amen. That's why we're here. We're doing our best to continue to inform you and provide facts and do a little entertaining as we go. So remember, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.